Good morning, students. Today we will be doing objectives of financial management. In the last class, we have done that financial management relates to financial decision making. In financial management, finance manager uh, deals with various financial decisions like investment decision, financing decision, and dividend decision. We did the relationship between these decisions and what is the risk return trade off involved in these financial decisions. Today we will be doing objectives of financial management. As you know, in every activity of management, various objectives are there. Whenever a firm is started, it is started with some objective. Objective provides you the target, the direction where you want to go. It gives you the reference point against which actual performance can be measured and compared. Because in every area of management, goals are important, and financial management also. For efficient financial decision making, we require some goals. So setting objectives in financial management also is a prerequisite. This is important thing. Now, from time to time, various goals of financial management, they have been cited, but the most important ones are profit maximization and wealth maximization. So today we will be discussing these two goals of financial management. Over the years, there is a debate which one is a better goal of financial management, profit maximization or wealth maximization. Arguments are given for both, in favor and against. So we are starting with profit maximization as a goal of financial management. First, understand what is profit. Broadly speaking, profit is nothing but revenue minus expenses, right? So profit may be EBIT, it may be PBT, it may be PAT, that means profit after tax. Overall, broadly, we can say it is difference of revenue and expenses. Now, when we talk profit maximization as a goal of financial management, it means each activity of finance manager should target maximization of profit. So maximization of profit as a goal of financial management means selecting those projects, making those decisions which lead to maximization of profits for the firm, right? All decision of finance manager should be guided by this objective. Now, various arguments are given in favor of profit maximization as a goal. People say that this is the implied objective of the business organization. So, in financial management, also, profit maximization should be taken as a goal. All decision of finance managers, they should seek maximization of profit for the firm. So, first argument in favor of this is that profit maximization is the implied objective of the business, so it should also be the objective of financial management. Then profitability is usually taken as yardstick of economic efficiency. If you have to measure economic efficiency of various units, various departments, or various branches of the business, we go by profitability criteria. So same should be used in case of financial management also. If we go by this criteria, then it will ultimately result in efficient allocation of resources, not only for the firm, but also for the society, and it will ultimately lead to social welfare. So proponents of this objective, those who favor profit maximization as a goal, they say if maximization of profits is there, then you can pay more salary to employees, you can take care of quality of the products, you can give better products to the consumer, you will be paying more tax, you can spend on social welfare. So ultimately it will lead to social welfare. But there are many problems if we follow this objective in financial management. The first important problem is that the term profit is very vague and ambiguous term. We are not clear about the exact meaning of profit, whether we are talking about PBT or profit after tax, operating profits or earning per share. The precise meaning of the term profit is not clear. When we talk about profit, we usually ignore quality aspect. That means how risky a particular decision is this is not taken care of. We try to maximize profit, but riskiness of the project, it is usually ignored, and which is not right for the firm in the long term. Many times we ignore financing aspect also. We undertake many projects to maximize the profit, and for that many times we have to borrow heavily, which is not good for the firm in the long term. So usually financing aspect is ignored if we follow this goal. Time value of money is not considered in profitability object. You know, at the time of calculating profit, we go by accrual method. That means if an income is earned, if it is accrued, then we record that in the books of accounts. Whether it is actually received or not, it is not considered. So time value of money, when actually this income is received or when an expense is actually paid, this is ignored. TVM is not considered in profit maximization objective. Subjectivity is there in calculation of profits depending upon discretion of management or accountant. The calculation of profit may differ. Suppose in depreciation, one person is using straight line method, other is using written down value method. In inventory valuation or in allocation of some expenses, say deferred revenue expenditure over number of years, different persons are following different policies. Then profits calculated by them will be different. So possibility of subjectivity is there in calculation of profits, because calculation of profit is based on discretionary policies, right? And social considerations many times are ignored to earn profits. We may compromise on quality of the product, we may pay lesser salary to maximize the profit. So many a time social considerations are ignored. So we say profit maximization as a goal of financial management, this is not the right goal. This goal has short-term perspective. We are not considering all future benefits and costs, and many other problems they are there. So profit maximization is not an operationally feasible criteria for decision making. Another statement is profit maximization is an inappropriate and unsuitable objective criteria for financial management decisions. It is not only vague but also ignores both time value of money and risk attached to future benefits. That's why this is not the right goal. So, what is the right goal for financial management? Usually, wealth maximization is considered to be a better objective of financial management as compared to profit maximization. Why? Before doing that, see what should be the features of an appropriate decision criteria for financial management. An appropriate goal or decision criteria for financial management should be exact, precise, and clear. It should incorporate time value of money. It should consider both quality as well as quantity of future benefits. Quality here means riskiness. At the time of making decision, we must consider risk involved in that particular decision beside considering the quantum of benefits. Then whatever criteria you are using, it should be able to be applied on all the decision areas of financial management, and it should not lead to conflict in interest among different stakeholders, right? If we see these criteria, most of these criteria are met by wealth maximization as a goal. So wealth maximization as an objective of financial management, first understand the meaning of wealth. What is wealth? When I am talking about wealth in financial management, wealth we consider from the point of view of equity shareholders. Now, to maximize wealth of equity shareholders, we must see what all equity shareholders receive on their shares. They receive dividend, and at the time of sale, they receive capital gain. So if you want to maximize wealth of the shareholders, then total sum of dividend and capital gain should be maximized. We should make a financial decision in such a way that shareholders receive highest combination of dividends and market price. It is possible if financial decision leads to positive NPV. What is NPV? NPV is nothing but the difference between present value of all future benefits minus present value of all future costs. We here are considering benefits and costs in terms of cash inflows and cash outflows. So benefits are considered in terms of cash inflows, costs are considered in terms of cash outflows. We take present value of all future benefits, we compare that with present value of all future costs. The difference is net present value. If net present value is positive, then we say there is addition to the wealth of the shareholders. If we want to maximize wealth of the shareholders, we need to maximize net present value. Hence, wealth is NPV. If NPV is positive, wealth of the shareholders will increase, and if NPV is negative, it will decrease. So maximization of wealth means maximization of net present value of a course of action. Now, if we are adopting this objective as objective of financial management, then many benefits are there. These benefits, they overcome all the limitations of profit maximization as a goal. See, merits of wealth maximization as a goal of financial management. One, it is clear and unambiguous. We are basing our decision on cash flows, and cash flows, whosoever calculate, will be taking the same meaning. So term is precise, this is clear, this is unambiguous term. No subjectivity is involved in calculation of wealth. Subjectivity is there in calculation of accounting profit, but in calculation of cash inflows and cash outflows, no subjectivity is there. The concept is comparatively objective concept. The concept has long-term perspective, reason being that we are considering all future costs and benefits. It incorporates time value of money. You have seen in the formula of NPV, we consider present values. If we are considering present values, that means we are incorporating time value of money. We consider risk factor also. Risk is incorporated in the decision by selection of an appropriate discount rate. You know, for calculation of present values, you require a discount rate. For a risky firm, discount rate taken is higher as compared to less risky firm. So through selection of discount rate, we incorporate risk in the decision making. And if we are following this objective, then it will lead to maximization of social welfare also. So various merits are there of wealth maximization as a goal of financial management, and this overcomes all the limitations of profit maximization as a goal. Some problems may be there in this goal also. One problem is the assumption of efficient market. If we are saying that maximization of wealth due to a financial decision will lead to higher market price and therefore it will benefit the shareholders, we are making the assumption of efficient market. Only in the efficient market, effect of a financial decision will be reflected in market price, but usually markets are not efficient and this objective may not be achieved. That means the positive NPV may not be reflected in the market price because of inefficiency of the market. Another problem may be agency problem. We are saying there is no conflict in the goals of various stakeholders, but if agency problem is there, conflict in interest of management and shareholders, that will be there. This we will be discussing in the next few slides. And third important problem can be, many people say wealth maximization is only a decision criteria for financial management. It cannot be termed as goal of the firm. This is asked as question also. This statement may be given in examination and you may be asked to explain the statement. So we can discuss this third statement. Wealth maximization is only a decision criteria. It is not goal of the firm. This we can say is a true statement. Goals and objectives are the basic purposes for which business is created. So main goal of the business organization is profit making, and profit can be made through different means, and in that social welfare can be incorporated. But ultimate goal of every business organization is profit maximization. Beside that, you can give goal of, say, social welfare, environmental protection, and other goals can be cited. But wealth maximization is usually not taken as goal of the firm. Goals are those targets which are to be achieved over life of the business. To achieve these objectives, you require some specific decision criteria, and in financial management, that decision criteria is wealth maximization, right? So wealth maximization, you can say, is only a decision criteria which shows that an action is economically sound if it leads to positive NPV. This cannot be taken as goal of the firm. So at the time of making any financial decision, definitely wealth maximization has to be considered, because this is the best decision criteria for financial management. But at the same time, overall goals of the organization should also be considered. A decision should not go against the overall goals of the organization. The finance manager must consider both the things. He must consider the decision criteria as well as overall goals of the organization. Only then his decision will be the right decision, right? Another thing in limitation, we did agency problem. Why agency problem arises? It arises due to conflicting interest between shareholders and management of the company. Now, there is separation of ownership and management only in corporate form of business organization. So we can say agency problem is mainly a problem of company form of business organization. Because of separation of ownership and management may not make decisions in the interest of shareholders. So if shareholders want to avoid this problem, they will have to incur some costs. So two agency costs can be incurred. One is monitoring cost, and second one is compensation cost. Monitoring cost, from the name itself, it is clear that shareholders will have to spend some money in monitoring activities of the management. Like internal audit department can be created, credit rating can be checked, other measures can be taken to monitor activities of the management. So monitoring costs will have to be incurred. Another thing can be compensation cost. You can relate compensation of the management to some criterias, like sales incentive can be given to them, stock options can be given to them, high salary package can be given to them. In this way, their goals and goals of the shareholders, they will not contradict. So what you can do, you can reconcile interest of the management with interest of the owners. In that situation, if management is taking care of interest of the shareholders, its salary or its incentives will automatically increase. So no conflict in interest will be there. So by incurring these two agency costs, agency problems can be avoided. So this was regarding objectives of financial management. Main two objectives from examination point of view, these two are to be done in detail. Broadly, we say wealth maximization is a better objective, and in your answer, you can conclude by giving these statements. According to Jensen, the contribution to the society is maximized by maximizing the value of the firm or wealth of the firm. And as per Solomon, the objective of shareholders' wealth maximization is an appropriate and operationally feasible criteria to choose among the alternative financial actions. It provides an unambiguous measure of what finance managers should seek to maximize in making investment and financing decisions on behalf of the shareholder, right? Now there is last subtopic in this chapter, financial accounting versus financial management. Financial accounting you all have done in first year, and financial management now we are doing. Financial accounting deals with uh, financial data, economic data of the concern. The meaning we usually take, financial accounting is the process of identifying, measuring, recognizing, summarizing and analyzing the economic transactions in any organization. Mainly we are talking about business organization. So in financial accounting, you record transactions, you summarize these transactions, you prepare various ledger accounts, then trial balance, then financial statements are prepared, and on that basis you analyze the results of the economic transactions of the business organization. Basic objective is to provide true and fair view of profitability and financial position of the concern. Focus here is on incomes and expenses, and the method we follow is accrual method and matching of expenses and revenue. This is to be done, right? In financial management, we deal with financial decision making. So finance manager, he is concerned with investment, financing and dividend decisions. Objective of financial management we have just done, it is to maximize wealth of the shareholders. That means finance manager has to make all financial decisions in such a way so as to maximize wealth of the shareholders. Focus here is on all future costs and benefits, and cost and benefits we measure in terms of cash. Further, you can distinguish in terms of subjectivity and orientation. In calculation of profits, subjectivity element is there. This we have done. In financial accounting, high degree of subjectivity is there because of discretionary policies of management. Each individual can give different estimates of profits. Orientation of accounting is usually historical because you record what has already happened. But in financial management, comparatively objectivity is there, and orientation in financial management is always the future. All financial decisions are made for the future. So on the basis of estimates, we make all financial decisions. Now question arises, are these two contradictory in nature or these are complementary in nature? These two are different in scope. These two are different in orientation, but these are not conflicting in nature. These you can say are complementary in nature. These are different but still related to each other. Like accounting provides all the necessary information for financial decisions. If finance manager has to make any decision, suppose investment decision is there, so what is the existing position of the assets, long term as well as short term, this information will be provided by the accountant. Now finance manager has to make dividend decision, so information on profit after tax will be provided by the accounting. So accounting provides necessary information for financial decisions. Whatever decisions are made by finance manager, the efficiency and effectiveness of these decisions, it will impact the profit figure shown in financial accounts. If these decisions are efficient, then definitely profit of the firm will increase. If these decisions are inefficient, in that situation, profit of the firm will decline. And whenever you make any financial decision, it gets reflected in the accounting statements. The investment decision is made, you have decided to purchase some asset, it will be shown in the balance sheet on the asset side. If you are procuring funds through issue of equity shares, on liability side, equity share capital will increase. If you are borrowing money, then debentures or long-term debt will be there on the liability side. So whatever financial decision you are making, these will be reflected in accounting statements. You have made investment decision, it will impact operating profit. So profit statement will also be impacted, right? So we can say both are different in scope and orientation, but these are complementary to each other. So finance manager and accountant, these two should act in coordination. Only then better decisions can be made, right? This is regarding your first chapter in financial management, and for this chapter you can refer to any of these books. Thank you.